Live from Columbia, South Carolina, WIS News 10 starts now.
Thanks for joining us for your news at 11. I'm Cynthia Beasley. The unofficial results are in for the 2023 Democratic primary elections for the District 19 Senate seat. With 100% of the precincts voting, Tamika Isaac Devine is the projected candidate who will represent the Democratic Party in the upcoming special election. Our Ashley Jones has been covering this tonight. She joins us live outside of Devine's watch party at the Red Carpet Event Center. And Ashley, Cambrell Garvin, who finished behind Devine, has conceded tonight.
Cynthia, Garvin actually conceded with just 3 counties left to count. He conceded to Devine via a phone call when they were just counting those 3 counties there. Now, Devine took lead when those votes first started coming in. She had about 52% of the votes, with Garvin following right behind her with 44%. The race finished with Devine taking 51%, Garvin taking about 45% of those votes. Javar Juarez and Johnny Cordero ended the race with just over 1%. Now, just a little background on the projected Democratic nominee, Tamika Isaac Devine. She's currently an attorney and has had a background in politics. She held an at-large seat on the Columbia City Council in 2002. That's when she made history as the first black woman to serve on that body. In 2021, she ran for mayor and lost against current mayor Daniel Rickerman. We did get a chance to speak with Devine following Garvin's concession. She says tomorrow she's getting right to work campaigning for that special election on January 2nd.
This might be a Democratic district, but I mean, we've got a lot of independent voters, and so I don't take anything for granted. And we look at this state over the last 4 to 6 years, we have lost Democratic seats at the State House because, quite honestly, I think Democrats have gotten complacent because they feel like this is a Democratic district, we should be successful, but we don't always strategize.
And Devine says that one of the most important issues that she's looking to tackle is gun violence. She wants to bring forth more sensible gun legislation that'll protect not only our youth, but this community as well. Now, I did get to catch up with Garvin following his concession. He says that he wants to continue to support Devine and that he'll be there supporting her during her campaign on this journey to that Senate seat, that District 19 Senate seat. Reporting here in Richland County, I'm Ashley Jones, WIS News 10.
All right, Ashley, thank you so much. And again, this special election is to fill the seat of the late Senator John Scott, who passed away in August. So Devine is now vying for that Senate seat along with Republican candidate Kizzy Smalls, Michael Addison, who's running as an independent, and Chris Nellums running in the United Citizens Party. The election will be held on January 2nd, 2024. And as Devine was saying, this Senate district has in the past leaned toward the Democratic Party. Scott held the seat for more than a decade, and the voters in the district overwhelmingly voted for President Biden back in the 2020 election.
All right, as we look ahead to tomorrow morning, that commute forecast is going to be sunny, but a little bit cooler. We're expecting your temperatures to be in the upper 40s and low 50s. So I give you the green light because the roads will be dry. So no problems as long as you have yourselves a jacket. For the afternoon commute, mostly sunny and 77 for your day tomorrow. Should be a pretty nice dry Wednesday. Drive home with dry roads. 50 degrees for you outside right now as we look live over the capital city. Lexington's at 49. Sumter behind you at 46, and Orangeburg at 54 and 57 now in Winsboro. Most areas coming in with crystal clear skies. For the remainder of the evening, staying quiet, dry, and no major issues. 47 degrees for you as we endure this other chilly night. As for tomorrow, high pressure moves in. The warming trend really starts to set up, so you're going to start to feel a little bit of a difference in the daytime hours. I'm expecting your daytime highs to reach about 78 degrees. We'll talk more about that midweek and late week forecast coming up.
Right now, Richland School District 1 is holding its first board meeting since the district abruptly reassigned 11 teachers to new schools last week. The move angered teachers, parents, and students and spurred a protest of hundreds yesterday, calling for transparency and accountability among district leadership. Our Nick Neville has been following the story since it broke and joins us live outside of Hopkins Middle School where the meeting is happening. So, Nick, I understand that the reassignment process was addressed quite a lot tonight.
Yes, that's right, Cynthia. So during that portion of the agenda, it took nearly 3 hours, and it began with a lengthy discussion from District Human Resources about this process. It was followed up by a long conversation, about 90-minute long conversation among members of the board about how this reassignment process started, the transition process for these teachers, and how to handle a situation like this if it were to arise in the future. Also, how to set the district up for success so that it won't have to deal with these reassignments in future years. Now, there were also many parents who spoke up during the public comment portion, that also lasting around 90 minutes this evening. Dozens of parents and teachers speaking out, saying that there were some really great ideas and collaboration that was discussed inside these halls tonight, but it came a little too late, this echoing a sentiment that we've heard throughout the last week, with many of these parents and teachers acknowledging that the district may have needed to make these changes, but wishing that they had done so sooner and with more pre-planning. It was an engaged crowd, at times audibly frustrated with responses from district HR and Superintendent Dr. Craig Witherspoon, and also cheering at different points during the parents' remarks. Few key takeaways. Witherspoon agreed, following a request from the South Carolina Education Association, that any teacher who's been reassigned will be allowed to get out of their contract without a revocation of their teaching license. Now, if there were any teachers who were reassigned and did not want to transfer to other schools, and there was another teacher who wanted to volunteer to take that teacher's place, Superintendent Witherspoon did not shut down this idea, but he said it's something that's going to have to be looked at a case-by-case basis. And I want to give you a look at some of the different responses that were going on among the board. We're going to give you a quick soundbite from Barbara Weston, who's a member of the board, talking about how this process was mismanaged, as well as you'll hear from a Richland One parent and educator. Take a listen.
The buck stops with us, because we have to look at our constituents. We need to come together and not allow our teachers to be put on a shelf, herded to one place or the other, or have their licenses revoked because they're
To think there are children in our district who haven't had a teacher all year is infuriating, especially when this is an issue that could have been prevented. Again, let me stress, this could have been prevented. Applicants never hear back. Phone calls are never returned. Qualified, experienced teachers never even have the chance to interview.
Again, this meeting is still going on after more than 4 hours. Another item that is later on in the agenda is the superintendent's evaluation. That's typically when matters of the superintendent's contract come up. It remains to be seen whether the board will take any vote on the superintendent's contract tonight. We'll be here and we'll have an update just as soon as this meeting wraps. But for now, reporting in Hopkins, Nick Neville, WIS News 10.
All right, late night. Thank you, Nick. Well, Richland School District 1 remains under fiscal watch, the lowest level of budgetary concern for school districts under state law. Could every student in South Carolina eat for free at school? Or could a totally new state agency be in charge of your child's school meals next year? Those are the big questions being considered right now at the State House, and they could result in significant changes in cafeterias across South Carolina. State House reporter Mary Green has more.
The Child Food and Nutrition Services Study Committee has before it a huge undertaking that could substantially shake up South Carolina's school meals program. But their work started with a single question.
If we're doing such a great job right now, then why do we continually have cafeterias that don't serve good food?
That question evolved into an even bigger one. Should the State Department of Education remain in charge of school nutrition services, or should the Department of Agriculture take over? After months of meetings and testimony, the committee still doesn't have a clear answer. Some say they haven't seen enough evidence to necessitate a move.
If the government's got a program that's working, you better leave it alone, because we do a whole lot of programs that aren't working so good.
Others believe a transition to the Department of Agriculture is the best option to support South Carolina students in the cafeteria and the classroom.
I don't see personally how offloading some of its responsibilities or sending it over somewhere else is going to be a bad thing for our Department of Education and allowing them to spend more time on educating our children.
But still others counter the answer to who's in charge won't result in their goal of getting more local and healthy food in cafeterias.
Neither one of them agencies will be able to impact an individual district's decision on what they serve unless the state decides to put some things in the legislature.
The committee is also considering if South Carolina should offer free school meals to every student in the state. But they're waiting for new data coming out next month to have a better idea of how much it could cost, though one member cautions that estimate might not be accurate long term.
That number you're going to get is, I believe, going to be manageable. But I promise you, over the next 3 or 4 years, that number is going to grow exponentially.
The committee plans to meet at least once more to figure out its recommendations. Those are due before the entire General Assembly returns here in January. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
A bill to provide universal free school meals has already been filed at the State House and has bipartisan backing from lawmakers. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.